Uh, you know, you know, this thing is like one of the stop streaming. No, okay. I don't. Top charts, top fans. Oh shoot, I'm actually on. Wow, that only took 20 minutes. It was popping. Like what's new? Okay. How do I open this up so I can like see it? Okay. Um, ah, this is still gonna be like the death of me. Your dialogue and here. I like your dialogue. Still trying to figure this out. Okay, so let's go to YouTube. Maybe we can hear. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. We can hear Little Will, where are you from? Little Will, where are you from? DMV area. Ah, okay. What's that? DC, Maryland, Virginia. So you're a Washingtonian. It's a pleasure to meet you, Will. A Washingtonian. What's up, Will? My blood pressure. My blood pressure's up. What's up? Thank you very much. I'm doing my best to basically make these videos as quickly as possible. A lot of this technology is still new to me. I got to watch it over and over and over again. Well, thank you very much, Will. I'm glad, you're definitely interested in the content. For a long time, we've been interested in you. You're definitely interested in expressing our thoughts concerning the things we've experienced during our 5 years of traveling. That's six now. Hey, Deborah. Is an echo. Okay. Okay, I'll cut that off. Turn this down. Said, I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. No one's showing me anything except YouTube, and there's very little explanation behind that. Is it still an echo? Show me anything except YouTube. There's very little explanation behind that. Is it still an echo? Anything except YouTube. Explanation behind it. Still an echo. Explanation behind it. Still an echo. Huh, there we go. Well, that was the whole purpose of starting this channel, because many people on YouTube, they're just giving a subjective narrative. And when you, for example, you go to a place and you visit, you walk around and everything's different. So you try to be open-minded, and you don't know. You don't know anything until basically you actually make the conscious decision to live in a place, maybe even learn the language, and then you start. Oh, I'm still echoing. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'll cut that off, the volume all the way off, since I'm echoing. But as I was saying, once you start living in a place, you start living around the locals, you start to see patterns, and you start to ask yourself questions. Conscious people start to ask themselves questions. They start to ask, okay, is this normal here? Is this what I should expect? And eventually you just come to a conclusion after asking yourself and maybe a few others, is this normal here? Is this what the norm is? And eventually you come to that conclusion, okay, this is the norm. And once you come to the conclusion, this is the norm, you can either accept it or reject it. I'll give you a perfect example. Um, this is ABIV 01. I was speaking to a content creator yesterday, and a lot of times it was on TikTok. I'll just watch what they're saying and I'll see it repeatedly, and they'll say the same thing repetitively. For example, they'll say, "Oh, I like the food here in Thailand," and then they'll mention, "Oh, I love something called Pat Kapow," or "I love uh, sticky rice," or maybe they'll say, "Oh, I love mango." They'll say something, but I've heard this said by other people or repetitively, and so I said to her, "Oh, you're here in Thailand. You've been here for one whole year." And the only food you can mention that you like is an omelet with rice. And so I guess maybe I raised a red flag. And once I raised that red flag, she said, "Hi, BA." And I said, "Hi." And she said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "What are you doing here in Thailand?" And I said, "I live here." And she said, "What do you think about the place?" I said, "I don't like it really." And she said, "That's rude." And I said, "Why is that rude? Why is it rude to say I don't like a place? But if a guy walks up to you, he touches you, and if you tell him, 'Oh, I don't like that, that's rude,' it's okay." So it's rude to say you don't like something about a place, but it's not rude to tell a guy that I don't like you or I don't like what you're doing. It's this type of information that, I like to give people, because some people don't want to truly make the distinguish between what's rude and just what is normal for other people. I'm a person who likes to express my thoughts. I think basically not saying something that you dislike is rude to yourself, but then it's not rude if you say something because you dislike it and someone else says, oh, well, this is rude and this isn't rude. Which one is it? It's either rude or it's not rude. To express yourself simply saying, oh, no, I dislike this, no, thank you, I don't think that's rude. But to some people, it is rude. But it's okay to say, I don't like you, or I don't like the way you talk to me, or I don't like the way you are touching me. That's not rude. Which one is it? Being overseas has definitely been an eye opener. And I will do a reaction video to a gentleman by the name of Reset with Rob. He's brought up a lot of good points about living here in Thailand, and I'm going to do a reaction video to one of his videos. I've been watching it, and I really, really enjoy some of the things he says about Thailand, about basically the culture here, and I'm definitely going to do a reaction video about it because his insight, he lives here, he's married, of course, he's white. Uh, he speaks Thai just like I do, and he's been here a little longer. And whenever I see content like this, I definitely want to bring it, some insight to it because he's saying things that he also sees that I see. But I'm not sure that a lot of other people are aware of his content simply because maybe he doesn't have as many subscribers as I do. Lil Will, am I still echoing? I don't know, get bell notification, got the bell, okay. It's an echo, you really get people in, okay. You're echoing. Brand, am I still echoing, Brand? As I said, I'm not sure. I can't hear myself. I've actually cut off, okay, I'm good now. Thank you. I don't know, I'm still figuring this out. Yeah, Reset with Rob, he has a channel on YouTube and he talks about the ups and the downs living here in Thailand. He tells you a lot about the culture. Yeah, he's married. Yeah, he's married. Okay. He's married here and he gives a lot of insight. He talks a lot about things that most foreigners don't know about the culture. That's why I watch him because living here for 2 years, I got to get a reference from somebody. I'm trying to speak Thai. I'm learning Thai, or I've learned Thai, excuse me. I'm still learning Thai, and I'm making an effort to utilize, what I've learned with the locals. And a lot of them, they'll speak, you say hi, you ask them a question. They'll be friendly to an extent. That's what I've seen here. It's, they're friendly to an extent. Like if you ask them a question, where is this at? Do you know this? They'll be friendly and point you in the a direction. I won't say it's always the right direction, it's always the wrong direction. They'll just point you in a direction because talking with foreigners makes them feel uncomfortable. It makes Thais feel very uncomfortable to encounter a foreigner, start asking them questions. And what I've observed here is many can speak English, but they don't speak English very well. And because they know that they don't speak English very well, they're afraid to actually engage with you because they feel caught off guard if you encounter them and you start speaking to them. They get so nervous, they don't know what to do. They freeze up or they panic. This is what I'm encountering here. Yes, it makes Thai people feel uncomfortable when foreigners walk up to them and ask them questions, especially the foreigners who can speak, excuse me, especially for some Thai people who can speak some English, it makes them feel very uncomfortable. They'll try, they'll make an effort, but they're still very uncomfortable. And as for some who they know a little, they're even more uncomfortable because they don't make an effort to practice. They feel that it's not necessary to practice. And when you catch them off guard, let's say, for example, in a customer service environment where they were probably hired because they said, yes, I can speak English. And now when someone who speaks English, approaches them and asks them a question, they panic because they're like, I got this job and I can't really speak Spanish. I can't really speak English. So now they run away from you. It's unfortunate that that's the experience that I have encountered living here in 2 years. I've walked into many, like, for example, there's a 7-Eleven almost in every corner here in Thailand. And a few of them that I've walked into, which is basically within my area, I go in and they'll say Sawadee Ka, Shin Ka, and they'll be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And once I grab what I want, I'll approach them. I'm a very gregarious person, as you can see. And I just try to make conversation with them in Thai. And a lot of them, they'll smile and they'll laugh because maybe my pronunciation is a little off, but I think they understand. They're just not it's not expected that an American, a black guy from America is speaking Thai. They're not expecting that. They're like, huh? What is this guy speaking Thai? And they won't talk back to me. Most of them won't talk back. And these are the things that most people aren't telling you. You other YouTubers, they're not telling you this. They're not telling you you come here and you live in an area where it's the city, but it's just maybe just a little bit outside of the city. Like for example, somebody from Washington, D.C., the capital, and maybe you just, in Maryland, which is just, a few minutes away. I live in like Maryland, but here in Thailand, in Bangkok. And I try to speak to the locals. They may know how to say a little bit. And if you try to have a conversation with them in Thai and maybe a little English, they feel very uncomfortable. And I didn't know this. And I didn't know the more I try to make an effort to speak Thai or just speak to them, it makes them even more, uncomfortable. So I've stopped. I've stopped trying to speak to Thais. I have ceased trying to make friends here. I mainly just basically make friends with mostly expats because trying to do anything else has shown me that it's like I'm trying to force a friendship when really I'm just trying to build a camaraderie and maybe a friendship later. How do I open this? YouTube Studio. Hmm, okay. I don't- I'm still trying to figure this out. Okay, so you have that. Well, you're here. Hey, what's up, Charles? How you doing? Well, when you're in a country that you're a foreigner, you don't know anything, you don't know anything about, the country. You hear things, you see things, but as, most Americans, or I want to say most Westerners, aren't you curious to have certain questions going on in your head answered? I know I am. You see things you don't understand. So either you can make an effort to try to learn a language so you can speak to people, so you can ask questions. And as you ask questions, you start to understand. But if you don't learn the language a little bit and are able to ask questions, how will you know who's being genuine and who's not? Because a lot of people here, you walk into an average, I want to say KFC, they'll put on a smile, but it doesn't mean it's a genuine smile. They're there to help you, but it doesn't mean that they want to help you because you're a foreigner. They're just there to basically provide a service. But if you try to talk to them and have a small conversation while you're waiting for your food, unless they speak English fluently, you will not see them make a genuine effort to have a dialogue with you. Not a lot of them. You will with some because some of them are from Myanmar, which is a neighbor of Thailand. A lot of them who can speak English, they'll make an effort to communicate with you. Charlie Webster, what's good from Houston? What's good? Well, it's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. The weather is nice out here in Bangkok, Thailand. I'll probably go outside, maybe go and run one errand, not two, and come back home. I'm not here for the women, Will. I'm here for an experience. I'm here to learn something. I'm here because eventually one day, I may have children. I don't have any right now. And I'd love to be able to tell them my experience, good or bad. I still want to be able to have, the opportunity to say, well, I was here. And if I meet other people and they say, hey, have you ever been to Thailand? And I say, yeah, we have something that we can talk about. It's a talking point to be able to share your experience and another person's experience together and share, your experiences and talk about what you encountered and they can talk about what they encountered. Thanks, Philly. Good to see you. What's going on, champ? Yeah, well, of course they love Thailand. And, there's many reasons for some guys to love Thailand. And one of those reasons is because Thailand is like Las Vegas. And what more can I say? Thailand, certain parts of Thailand, I want to say specifically, are like Las Vegas. You know, so that's why a lot of guys come and they say, "Oh, I love Thailand," because it's new. But I'm not saying I hate Thailand. It's just that it's a place that can be very frustrating, especially for someone who is motivated to do more than just wake up, eat some breakfast, go to the gym, watch TV, go to a bar, maybe shoot some pool, talk to some women, bring them home, have sex, and that's it. That's basically your routine, and that's something that I kind of see a lot here in Thailand with foreigners, especially with certain communities. You talk to them, and they really don't have a big routine. Me, when I came down here to Thailand, the first thing I did was I went to school so I can learn the language. Then I looked, for, I guess, an activity to do. So most people come here, they want to learn maybe something. They chose Muay Thai. I chose Wing Chun. I don't know if many of you all know what Wing Chun is, but it's a fighting style of martial arts. Donnie Wu is heavily known for this. You can see his martial arts style in movies like Ip Man. Well, I chose Ip Man. I mean, I chose to learn Wing Chun. So I'm learning Thai. I'm doing Wing Chun, but I'm still bored. So I went and I bought me a 3D printer, and I started learning how to make stuff. Everything from masks to Pokemon balls. I'm going to show you something that I made. Just give me a second. So since I've been here, I took up a little hobby and I made a makeup case. It's a Pokemon ball. As you can see, it's a Pokemon ball, but it's also a makeup case. I put a mirror in there. I put some lip gloss in there. Whoa. And basically, as you can see here, this Pokemon ball is a little makeup case. Yes, I made this. Has a mirror in there for women, has a little lip gloss in there. You can close it back. It's like a little boo-boo. You can clamp it onto the side of your bag or whatever like that. But I made this since I was here. And since I made this, it makes me feel good knowing that I was able to make that, but it was frustrating finding things here. Oh, the paint, finding maybe like something as like a carabiner. Give me a second, let me show you. Very studious person. Let's say, for example, it took me exactly 3 weeks to find this. This is a carabiner. I walked, into a certain area called Samping Market. I showed people this, and no one pointed me in the right direction. No one pointed me in the right direction. They kept saying, go over here, here, here. I found a Thai person who could speak English. I brought them with me. They pointed them this, and they said something, and it was like, oh, right there. 2 minutes, we're at the place, and I'm able to buy this. So that's how frustrating it is sometimes to be able to find things here in Thailand. It's the people, everybody says Mailu, which is like, I don't know. And that's kind of frustrating, to like be in a country, you ask people questions, and everyone says either these three things: Mailu, my me, my die. My Lu is I don't know. My me is I don't have. My die is I can't. For someone from America where they don't believe in the word I can't, that can be sort of frustrating because you can do anything you want to do if you're not deaf, dumb, and blind or not alive. Charles, a lot of Westerners, specifically, unfortunately, us as Black Americans, mistake equating being tolerated as automatically being wanted. Exactly. We're being tolerated. We're spending money, so of course everyone's smiling. You don't think for one moment when you get off when you come out of, the airport immigration, you got your bags. These individuals aren't looking at you like this. Yay, money! Yay! How much am I going to charge you today? Charge this person, and how much am I going to charge this person for carrying them to the airport, to their hotel or Airbnb? Of course, they're happy. They get an opportunity to get paid. So yes, Thailand land of smiles. When you come out of the airport, when you're walking up to, let's say, in a money exchange, and you're giving them, your dollars, they're happy. Yes, you know, but you're just being tolerated. And I say that because I've been here for 2 years, and within those 2 years, I have been trying to build relationships with people who are employed or people who are educated. And I see that with my experience with them, as well as my experience interacting with people in businesses, most of the time they're just tolerating us because we're spending money for no other reason. Now, I'm not saying that's everywhere, but a lot of the times we're being tolerated because we're spending money. They don't want to give everyone a bad impression that, they're not being helpful or they're not basically interested in helping us. So they do the best they can. But in reality, when they get frustrated with you, like asking a simple question like when someone says, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Immediately in my mind, the first reaction is, well, what do you know? You work here and you don't know anything? They get frustrated, they get embarrassed. So did you talk with a lady? Yeah, yes, Philly Dom. I did speak with her. Yeah, it's fake. I never see an Asian woman with a black American guy where I'm. It's rare. Always see them with white guys. Lil Will, thank you very much. Because when I tell people this, everyone's like, especially Thai people who can speak English, they go, "Really? Jing Law?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you see, most of the Thai women in Bangkok, specifically Bangkok, but in other areas, they're mainly with Caucasian white guys. And when I say to them, "Come on, look around you. Do you really see a lot of black guys walking around here with young Thai women? No." But they pretend that, oh, it's not true. Oh, I don't know. They know. They're pretending they don't know. They're pretending that they don't see things. But in reality, they see it, but choose not to see it. It's a conscious choice to see what they see, but not see it so that if someone brings it to their attention, they know, yeah, I know it. And some people know. Some people acknowledge that, yeah, they look around, and so it's a preference here. Most Asian women and Thai women, they prefer white guys. And it doesn't matter if you have money, it doesn't matter if you look good. Their preference is white guys. Plain and simple, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, are there anomalies here? Yes. There are lots of unicorns that will like a black guy, but mainly the ones that you see with black guys are going to be in these categories. She's either older, yes, older Thai woman. She will be with a black guy. And when I say older, pushing 35 or 40, hands down, she will be with a black guy as long as you are funding her. Then there's the older Thai women who don't need your money, but still basically just want someone to love. So you'll find those two older category of Thai women with a black guy. Then you have, the Thai women who are dark skinned but a little out of shape, a little overweight, pushing maximum density. No, hands down, they will definitely be with a black guy. Then you have basically the other type of Thai woman, the very beautiful, pretty, dark skinned Thai woman who has a price. Yes, she has a price, and if you meet the requirements of that price, she has no problems being with you. No, hands down. But as for having a genuine relationship with, I want to say, a very beautiful Thai woman by Thai standards, no, that ain't happening. It's an educated Thai woman who has a job and has an education. They want mainly white guys. That's been my experience. They seem to be very guarded people, not helpful because they could be, yeah, some prejudice. Don't think they want to help you. Generally, I think it's difficult to meet genuine people anywhere. Um, it can be slightly difficult to meet genuine people in certain places, but you have to be there for a certain amount of time. I've been here. I can literally say I can count on one hand the genuine people that I have met here in Thailand that I can still contact. For example, the gentleman who helped me make this, he's a locksmith. He's maybe about 60 years old. He has his own business here, but he was actually willing to accept money in exchange for his labor and knowledge. And he helped me make this. Now, I made everything else, but as for the little slit here for me to be able to attach this and inside here and open this up, he helped me basically bore a hole in here to be able to put this lip gloss. He helped with that. So I definitely know that there are some people here that can do things or are willing to do things that a lot of people they're not. My landlord, She's very friendly to me. And there's a lady downstairs. She has a little mini mart. She's friendly. For example, if I'm not going to be here and pick up a package, I can say, "Here's some money. Can you please retrieve this package?" She's very helpful. And her niece, they talk to me. I know someone in FedEx that if I have a package coming here and it gets sort of lost or maybe held up, I can call him and say, "Hey, this package is here. Here's the tracking number. Can you help me?" But outside of that small little circle, as I said, on one hand, the amount of people that I have actually been able to build a camaraderie. Now, the guy who works at FedEx, I would love to build more of a friendship, but he's strictly by the book, strictly by policy. And he's told me several times, "Oh, I can't receive gifts," because he's always helping me. If I call him, he's like, "Yeah, I found your package. I'll route it directly to you." I've offered, "Hey, can I buy you some drinks? Maybe take you and your colleagues out for drinks." He says, "No, sorry. Just saying thank you is as much as you can do." And it's like, I want to build a friendship with him because I see where he works at, there are educated women. A lot of them speak English. A lot of them, are not afraid to speak to foreigners. And these are the type of women that I want to meet because I can see educated, employed, not afraid to talk to foreigners. And unfortunately, I can't seem to get in a certain circle of Thai people where I know I would really enjoy their camaraderie and their friendship if they offered it to me. They know. Shake my head. I've never been to Thailand, but I seem to know. Come to Vietnam. I Happy to see your channel up and running. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. I'm happy to have it up and running. I'm happy to be able to express basically my experience here in Thailand because I've had some other experiences in some other places, and I definitely want to share those with other people as well. And not only do I want to share it, I want to share the receipts because most countries that we go to, we collect receipts and we want to share those receipts. Let me go. Vietnam. I've heard some good things about Saigon Tea. I've heard some good things about Vietnam, but I've also heard some things that are not really positive. And I'm going to go into that with you. So I've heard Vietnam, those people have a very similar personality like me. They're real. They're not going to be phony. They're not going to be fake. But something that I've heard about the women there that a lot of expats or Americans are not going to go for. For example, I'll give you an example. My cousin, he's well off like me. He makes, a decent amount of money. And if he had to retire right now, I'm going to say he's going to be basically making a really good pension from investments and things like that. So I've heard in Vietnam, women want to control your paycheck. There's no way in the world my cousin is going to sit there and give up his 10 racks, 10 racks of his retirement to any woman in Vietnam just to make her feel comfortable controlling his finances. That's not going to happen. There's no way in the world I'm going to sit there and let a woman control my finances just to make her feel happy. It cost me about $300,000 for my education. I know it's cost him way more because he's in IT. No, he's in cybersecurity. He's always basically paying money for certifications. That's not going to happen. As much as, and I've been to Ho Chi Minh. It's very, very cool in Ho Chi Minh. I've been there, but I've not met women. I was just basically exploring and learning more about the spot. O'Shea, okay, O'Shea Jackson is coming after you now. Good. I'm glad O'Shea Jackson's coming after me. I like to say sauce for the goose. I'm married to a Vietnamese woman. Okay, Saigon T. I'm happy that you were able to find a woman down there. Tell me a little bit about your marriage. How long have you been there? And are you giving your Vietnamese woman, I want to say, control of your finances? Is she basic? Are you giving her, your money and saying, okay, you control it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that matter. Telling them how rich you are. Okay. Um, you shocked up in YouTube travel space. Shocking up. Telling them how rich you are. She will have to be able to access his bank account. She can just start life, little fights with him about money. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I'm not going to accept a woman fighting with me about my money, especially when she didn't help me make this money. Now, if we started a business together where, we're earning money together, that's a different story. But for me to, let's say I was in America, I went to, the Army, Navy, whatever military branch. I was doing 2 years in maybe a place like Iraq. I got guns and tanks and planes flying over me, people shooting at me. Then I come out. Maybe I'm like, let's say I go and become a civil servant, let's say a police officer. I do that for 20 years. I retire. Now I got these two pensions. I got maybe 10K coming in. How do you, as a retired veteran and maybe a retired civil servant, consider giving your retirement to a woman who hasn't done anything to contribute to anything that you've done, not your education, not your lifestyle, not your pension? How do you just sit there and say, okay, here, and you control the money? That's not going to happen, not for me and not from a lot of Western people. I know they may start little fights, but either they get with the program, or basically, they go find another program. She will have to. The problem starts if they start making V and D together. Yeah, okay. T, are you going to hear? T, are you giving her your money? Yeah, T, are you giving her your money? Exactly. We need to know, are you giving, your woman your money? Because she'll start fights. I've heard that. I have a friend right now. He's Philly Dom. And he knows a lot about Vietnam because he's been over there for a long time. And he's saying the exact same thing, that Vietnamese women will start little fights with you until they get you to give them your money. And then once they're controlling it. But I really think that that's a result of her not having money, not having something to contribute, maybe other than her looks and sex. And she feels, because in her culture, maybe a lot of men, they're not acclimated with finances and doing things, to maybe save and do things well, because maybe most men over there are poor with finances. They think all men are poor with finances. And you can't sit and say, just because men in your culture are bad with finances, that men all around the world are. And so either you give me your paycheck or I'm going to start a fight with you. That's a very poor and narrow perspective to have. And for women in Vietnam to have that and want to fight with you just so that they can feel in control isn't something, again, that most foreigners are going to go along to get along with. You should start. You should have stayed in the Philippines longer and not left so soon. BA, Filipinos make the best partners. Um, that's possible. Tech, AI news, it is possible. But because I had a Filipina, I discovered that she cheated on me. And before that Filipina, when she didn't cheat on me, she had a boyfriend, possibly a husband. And from what I discovered, my cousin told me that she may have not been just had a boyfriend, she could have been married. And in the Philippine culture, if a husband finds out that his wife is cheating, he can actually have me arrested, tech AI. And if he has me arrested, I can be held hostage in jail until I offer to give him some type of compensation for having sex with his wife. So once I exposed this woman to her colleagues that, yeah, this woman was my girlfriend, I felt it was in my best interest to leave the Philippines because she did, make a police report that I told a lot of her colleagues that, yeah, all of the clothes and things that you see her with, I bought those things because one of her colleagues said, oh, yeah, we thought her boyfriend or maybe her husband in the province bought her all these clothes. So she was lying to them. And I just felt, it's in my best interest. Let me leave the Philippines before somebody knocks on my door and says you're under arrest. And this guy comes up and you say, you're bad. You were having sex with my wife. And then I'm like, uh, 5 years, she gets money from my parents. I'm staying at home dad. Giving percentage is important part of society here. Okay, Saigon T, giving, is an important part of society there, but that's not how I grew up. So, for me to sit there and say, I'm now gonna go along to get along in that society, it's like, okay, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. The Romans, which we all know, touched little boys, and like the Catholic Church, there's a lot of priests and people who are touching little altar boys. Should we go and do that just because everyone else is doing that? Nah. I can't see myself doing that. So basically, speak Thai is a bad thing. Shame in the Philippines, it makes it hard to find a mate. I speak 25% Thai because I was eager, tech AI, to be able to speak to a lot of the people. I wanted to understand the language and get acclimated and make friends here. So I won't say it's a bad thing, but once you start to understand the language, you may become confrontational because, for example, you walk up to someone who owns a fruit stand and you want to buy a fruit or some fruits, and you hear somebody saying "Yisit baht," which is like 20 baht for some fruits. And then when you walk up to them, you don't speak to them in Thai. You say, "Hey, how you doing? Let me get these mangoes." They may say to you 100 baht or maybe 50 baht, and you go, "How much? How much?" And they'll say 100 baht or 50 baht, which is not Yisit baht, 20 baht. And then when I speak to them in Thai, Tao Rai, and they'll say, Pom Masai Utini, my Shinok Tong Tiao, Pom Kao Jai Tuk Yang. Oh, it's Kotod, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So hearing Thai and understanding it very quickly, it can create a confrontational situation where when you start now talking to some Thai people, they get embarrassed that they, tried to take advantage of you and now they're embarrassed. So that's why, I feel knowing can create certain situations where you may say, no, I'm not letting you, stick a banana in my tailpipe. She'll never know how much you make. Just don't take her to the ATM machine. Okay, Saigon T, come back to Ho Chi Minh City. Things are going to be epic. I may consider coming back, Saigon T. It's just, the incentive, knowing that I'm going to be introduced to the right people. That makes basically, the incentive for wanting to come back to Ho Chi Minh. Ben Painter, you did the right thing. Thank you very much, Ben. You're going to benefit from the Vietnamese society. It will be worth whatever percentage. We'll try. We'll consider that. Let me see. Okay, if she made a blotter, okay, a blotter against you at the station, it would have been local. So you could have left the Cebu and tried, okay, I didn't know, another place. Let it cool off and stick and move, never cause them to lose face. Listen, how would you feel if you lived with a woman for 4 months, treated her like a princess? Now she's living with you. She's not asking you for no money. You're under this impression that you found the right Filipina. And then come to find out she has a boyfriend. Then my cousin says, yo, that could be her husband. You are trying to build a future with her. And then you meet her coworkers, and her coworkers are thinking all of the clothes that she's been wearing, which you bought for her. That's the only thing that I ever really did for her financially. And you come to find out that all her coworkers think her boyfriend bought these clothes. You wouldn't want to expose to her coworkers that no, I bought them. Yo, no. Look at all these photographs of us together, all of these clothes, all of these places we've gone to. No, that was me. That wasn't him. Maybe you feel like, no, that's the wrong thing to do. I don't. I don't feel basically making someone like that lose face is wrong, because look at all the time and effort I put into building a relationship and all of the things that I wanted to do for her in the future. How do you think I feel? How do you think when I'm telling my friends about this young lady, how do you think I feel discovering I'm sleeping with the enemy? This woman has a boyfriend. And I'm like, what? Boyfriend? Yeah. You can teach English in Vung Tay. My wife will get you employed. Really? Your wife can get me employed in Vietnam teaching English? Okay, I will definitely consider that. Um, Listen, if you want, try to contact me on Instagram, and basically you can contact me and we can talk more about it. My Instagram is Building Wealth with Ease, all together. Building Wealth with Ease. Contact me on Instagram and let's talk about it a little more. Because I feel if I was teaching English, in a place I'm interacting with professionals, and if I'm interacting with professionals, that will give me an opportunity to integrate into the community, meet people who are intelligent, motivated, and are have the incentive to get to know other cultures. So Saigon T, if you're interested in introducing me to professionals, in Saigon, I mean, in Vietnam, I'm more than happy to explore that opportunity. I know that talks behind your back since 2010. We used to talk about it in forums before YouTube was popular. All that you're learning is old hat. Once you learn the ropes, you can. Listen, it was old. I understand, that was old for you. It was new for me. Should I just opened up an Instagram account, I want to say 2 years ago. Social media wasn't really my thing. If, anyone goes to my Instagram account, you're not going to find me there posting videos or photos of me living here or going there. If you're my friend, you ask me where have I been, and now I'm going to show you. Okay, I've been to Cuba. Okay, I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Venezuela. I've been, here. I've been there. I've lived here. This is how you get to know more about my life. But I'm not posting, countries I've been to in social media, because I don't need people to know where I've been and what I'm doing. That's my personal business. It's my personal life. So I understand there's been things going on that were normal, probably a long time ago, but I choose to keep more of my life a little private. I know, let's see here, tech AI, control the situation. All of these Asian countries are going to have it serious pros and cons. I agree with you. One of the pros that I feel here in Thailand, no one's going to rob you with a gun. No one's going to be physically violent with you to rob you. But there are going to be cons. People may try to think they're smarter than you. Um, Not everyone, just a lot of people. Some people are going to, one of the cons that I've found here is many people don't want to know anything. Many people aren't interested in knowing more so that they can help other people. So many people here are motivated to learn more. Most people here, as I've encountered, they say, my die, it's I can't. And it's just like, why not? And they don't have an expression. They don't know how to express anything. So what happens? They just freeze up. or they say my Lou, or they say my me. I can't. There's a lot of things that they say and do, so I agree. In other countries such as Thailand, there are pros and there are cons. I know there's a lot of cons basically in New York, where I used to live at. Check in now. Okay, I got a delivery coming. Okay, no problem. Just give me a second. I got some messages here. Okay. Two notifications. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, everyone. All right, I'm back. I think the thing we take for huge granted being from the US is how really accepted, fair, and accommodating we are compared to other countries. We take it for huge granted. Charles, I agree. For example, one of the things that basically we take for granted is so many others around us accept things, so we accept it as well. For example, in America, for English, press 1; for Spanish, press 2; for Chinese, press 3; for French, press 4. We are accommodating to so many people, um, and that's one of the things that I guess you get acclimated to is you see someone, they need a little help, you try to make their day, great or good by saying, okay, you're a New Yorker, you go, okay, here, 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 or you try to make, their day by saying, okay, I don't know, but let me try to help you. A lot of people here, they're not going to be that accommodating to try to help you, or if they are, they're going to mislead you by telling you to go someplace and you go here, for example, in a store, they'll tell you, no, I don't have this, but they'll send you to another place knowing that they don't know if they are, they're sending you to the right place, but they'll send you anyway. And they don't care if you go all the way to that location and don't find what you want, and then they'll send you to another location and then you don't find what you want, and it's like you're chasing your tail, you're getting frustrated, and you're just like, let me go home before I curse somebody out. You would try the Philippines. I don't know. I've been there, done that. Before I met my second girlfriend, I had met one Filipina, and she introduced me quickly to her family within maybe a week time that I was there, and they were already asking me, so are you going to buy land here? When are you going to marry my niece? And I'm like, maybe someday. When am I going to buy land here? I don't know. I just got here. That's a question that I can't answer right now. So again, with the Philippines, that's something that I've already been there and done that, and really don't know that I'd want to revisit that situation, knowing that now I've already had two bad experiences in a country that I went there and I was deceived by someone that I really, really liked, someone who was educated, employed, someone that I and had, a lot of things in common with, that I could see I could build a relationship with. And it was like, man, how could you do this to me? And, all she could say was, I'm sorry. Well, as I've told, a lot of Thai people, I've told a lot of American people, I've told people around the world, I accept your apology, but saying sorry does not fix the problem that they created with their lies or their deception. So, okay, I can accept it, but that doesn't mean that I can continue looking at you the same way. Because if I make an apology, or excuse me, not make an apology, if I apologize for doing something wrong, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And so many people think, okay, I made a mistake, and they can keep making that mistake and the same mistake and just say, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, you're sorry, but when are you going to learn? When are you going to stop making the same mistake? Some people don't learn. Charles, I think the thing we take for granted. Nope, we already read that. Yeah, okay. I would try again. Again, tech. It's something that I won't leave out. It's just I got to have an incentive. for me to want to try the Philippines again. Saigon T, awesome. Okay, thanks. Let's communicate on, on Instagram and we can talk. Tech AI, revenge is best served cold. Yes, I definitely agree. Revenge is best served cold. You have to be more tactical in how you get people back. I just told all her employees at her job that she's in a relationship with me. That was it. I said that I was the person who bought all of those clothes that she wears. You know, now when she goes to work and they're all looking at her, like, oh shoot, we didn't know you had an American boyfriend. She can't lie because I have photographs of us. She can't lie because she may have a photograph of her Filipino boyfriend, but she has a photograph of me with my in my condo, eating and talking and drinking and going places. So she can't say these things are a lie. She can't. So it's now up to her to try to, you know, convince the lie or tell the truth or quit her job. When are you going to China? I plan to go to China this year. Um, Most likely maybe after in August, right after Labor Day. So right after Labor Day, we're going to go to China. But first, we have to get a visa. Right now, we're building our plans to go to China, finding a place that we are considering living there. And all of these things take time. So before we go to China, we have to get where we're going to go, where we're going to stay, um, our visa, what's our objective once we get there. So sometime then in August. Let's see. Cities, cities, if you're looking for relationships and better characteristics, you go to the West, Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, any of, okay, the Hill tribe communities, they have better ethic morals. Okay, Tech, I believe you. I've heard, some really positive things about Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai. I've actually been to Chiang Rai. I was only there for a little bit of time. People, sort of looked at me, but I didn't get the feeling while I was there that people were very friendly. I'm a very, again, loquacious person. That means talkative, and I'm very gregarious. So I don't have a problem walking up to people and talking to people and trying to build a camaraderie or just making the attempt to build a friendship. But most Thai people are not doing the same thing. They're not walking up to us saying, hi, how are you doing? Are you new here? Okay, hey, would you like to meet some people? Can I introduce you to things? Where if I meet somebody who just got off the plane from America and I see them in Thailand, I will say, hey, welcome to Thailand. Are you new here? Hey, let me tell you where to go, what to do, you know so I'm in a foreign country and I'm telling other people who are from America where to go, what to do, and I'm not Thai. So why can't Thai people be this friendly or hospitable to me when I'm doing this to people who I don't even know? I just see them, they're foreigners, and I say, hey, welcome to Thailand. Are you new here? Are you on vacation? And immediately it's like, hey, try here, go here. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Find an old head who can give you game and take you around to show you about the country you're in. You were solo dolo, and that's an issue as well. Tech AI, I agree with you. I did find an old head, but he's not interested in being a tour guide. He has helped me build my Pokemon balls. Um, and I'm grateful, for him. He's told me a few things, but he's not interested in taking me around, unfortunately. It is what it is, but I am grateful for the fact for his friendship and helping me make them. But, you know, I can't force friendship here. And this is what I discovered in the water with no paddle. Yes, yes, I agree with that statement. In the water with no paddle. To add to Tech AI's advice, get advice from an expat or a foreigner. Well, this is why I was saying that earlier. There's an expat here called Reset with Rob. I've watched his channel and he talks a lot about Thai culture. And he gives like little secrets, underlying secrets about the culture. And he talks about things that basically I've looked at and said, you know what, I have to do a reaction video because a lot of the things that he says, I love the fact that he's spilling a lot of the tea and giving a lot of little gems. So I definitely will be doing a live, and you're gonna see the live, excuse me, or it's called a reaction video. So you're gonna see basically some of the things that I'm gonna indicate in his video. Do I like Japan? I've been to a place called Fukuoka, Japan. It was cool. A lot of people in Fukuoka were, a little bit like Thai, hi, but they weren't really friendly, like, hey, let me show you around. So I won't say that I won't go back to Japan. It's just I probably would just maybe not go there back to Fukuoka. Who are you going? Who are you going with? Who am I going? Valentina 822. You said, who are you going with? Please specify who am I going with where. Western mentality. You really need to learn how different Asian, Eastern people think. I've been making an effort to do that. I tried to do that in the Philippines and things were going pretty well. I had a girlfriend who was teaching me about the Filipino culture. So it's not like I really had a problem there. I just had a problem with her once I discovered that she was in a relationship with someone. As for Thailand, I've been learning about, the culture here, but it hasn't been the best experience. I won't say it's the worst. It's good and bad, but I just know from my experience, I don't want to live here anymore. Do you ever judge? Do Thai ever judge you because of your because you're local? Just curious. Slightly, yes. Tech AI Thai people. No, excuse me. Will. Yes, Thai people will judge you discreetly. For unfortunate reason, Thai people seem to think all people of color are African. So I've encountered a lot of Thai people, especially a lot of women, and they thought, oh, I thought you were African. And I'm like, why would you think that? Do I sound African? Do I look African? What does African look like? Well, you're black. I'm like, wow. So just being dark skinned, Will, seems to think, Thais seem to think that just because you're dark skinned, you're African, you're from Africa. And it's like, wow, that's a very, very small perspective. Just because of the color of your skin, people have of you. Okay. The best advice I can give you, BA, is you're not in Kansas anymore. And I agree. You are going to change or you are going to struggle. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm either going to change or I'm going to struggle. I'm more than willing to change certain aspects of my personality. I'm more than willing to change to adapt to certain things, but I'm not just going to go along to get along. If I'm going to change, there's going to be benefits to it. If not, then I will stay to myself. I will just build camaraderies with other foreigners here and not try to make friends in other countries, which now leaving Thailand, I'm saying, you know what? That may not be a bad idea. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. When you say you are going to China, you keep saying we. Okay, Valentine, I guess maybe you don't sometimes think of yourself as me, myself, and I. I speak in that manner like, oh, yeah, we're going. Yeah, we're going. It's just basically, I'm meaning me. So if you don't understand, I'm just referring to we as in me. I'm going to China. So unfortunately, yeah, sometimes I say, yeah, we're going to China. Yeah, we're going to China. If that explains anything to you. Will, locks or dreads? I guess they're locked up, they're dreads, whichever you want to call them. Everyone hit that like button. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Please hit the like button if you like this channel, if you like the content, if you like what I'm saying. Most Caucasian Americans, Europeans, and Arabs don't really change that much. And more accepted in Asian countries. Yes, Charles, thank you. How come Caucasian people don't have to change? They can be who they are, and Asians are willing to change for them, but we have to change for Asian people. We have to accommodate them. But white people, foreigners, they don't have to change too much. I'm not saying they don't maybe make some, changes, but it's, they're not making all those changes. It's like the Asians are willing to change to accommodate them and make them happy. If they don't like it, okay, I'll change it. Okay, I'll do this. But Black people, we have to do far more to make people like us in Asia or make people accept us. Like, for example, um, we have to do more for women here in Thailand than Caucasian guys have to. Why? Why do we as Black men have to spend more and do more and be better when most Caucasian guys from Europe, they don't have to? They can just be themselves and they're just accepted. Um, and don't require things to change much. Yeah, exactly, Charles. Thank you very much for pointing that out. BA, Black Americans will say we are African or from Africa. So how is it different from Asians thinking it? Okay. Um, I know my heritage. I know exactly where I'm from, where my grandmother's from, where my grandfather's from, where my other grandmother's from, where my other grandfather's from. So I know, yes, I have a lineage of descendants from Africa, specifically Ethiopia, and another grandparent from Cape Verde. I have another grandparent that's from Paris, France, and another grandparent who's from Israel. So I literally have four different nationalities by certain standards. And I'm 50% Cape Verdean, 50% uh, Israeli, 50% Parisian from Paris, 50% Cape Verdean, Ethiopian. So I know, I have a very mixed up lineage, but nevertheless, I know where I'm from. At least I know, yeah. 100% African from Ethiopia and Cape Verde, and another, I want to say 100% Europe, no, 50% European and 50% Middle Eastern. At least I know that. They have okay, Tech AI. They have heard from us saying African American. Okay, what do you see if you see African American? You see African first. I agree. Okay, so they are not going to understand any more than that. I see lots of Asians here in, Thailand. I'm not going to assume, oh, are you Thai? No, I'm going to ask a question. Hey, what's your nationality? Because you have people from Cambodia here, you have people from Myanmar here. They have very similar facial or physical features, but I'd still rather ask. And by not asking, that in itself is ignorant. That in itself is basically saying, okay, because I see you look a certain way, I'm going to think a certain way. That's ignorant. That's very a small-minded perspective. If you're saying, okay, well, some African Americans say I'm African American, I just say I'm from New York. I don't say I'm African American. I say I'm from New York. There, I don't sit there and make people confused. Hey, where you from? I'm from my mother. Yeah, where's your mother from? Oh, she's from her mother. Oh, where were you born? I was born from New York. Now, everyone may not have that perspective or doing that, but that's what I do. These are many white guys with channels about downsides of Thailand. Yes, Kappa Flappa. Yes, there are many, Caucasians who have, uh, YouTube channels, and they talk about the downsides of living in Thailand. And you don't hear anyone, bashing them or saying anything negative. But again, I guess that's white privilege. I'm white and I'm right, and that's the difference. Unfortunately, the market behind being black is negative, and we would be treated the same everywhere we go. B. Thomas, unfortunately, the market behind being black is negative. Hmm. Can I ask you a question, Thomas? If you know of a former NBA MVP named Allen Iverson, and I'm not taking anything away from the MVP and several times champion Michael Jordan. The first time Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan encountered each other on the court, Allen Iverson twisted Michael Jordan's ankles up. Everyone who was an Allen Iverson fan like myself said, "Oh, shoot." I didn't find that to be negative against Michael Jordan. I like Michael Jordan, but I looked at what he did as something positive as well as something creative, not negative. Do you understand the example? I didn't treat him negatively because I was like, "Oh, yo, Jordan, yo, you messed up Jordan." I like both basketball players, but it wasn't negative. It was just simply creative. Nevertheless, most Asians, they want to have dreadlocks like us. They want to dance like us. They want to dress like us. They want to talk like us. They want to walk like us. They want to be like us, but don't want to be us, or they don't want to introduce us as a nation of people with all of our creativity to their friends and their family, unless basically they may be the type that parties, you know what I mean, party. They smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, they drink, they got tattoos. Now they're willing to maybe integrate with us because they think they have something in common with us. Is the stream down? Not that I know of. Um, you are frozen. Okay, Deborah, I didn't know. Let me check this out. I didn't know. Wow. Okay. Error. Okay. Error. Open studio. Okay. Wow. Let's check this out. What's going on here? Okay. Um. Okay. It's poor. The internet is in here is poor. So not receiving enough. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As you, okay. Why isn't this? What's going on? Okay, so we're having some internet, difficulties. For some reason, the screen is frozen. It's not excellent for some reason as it was before. Let's check our internet connection. I don't know. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? I'm not sure. Can you see me now? I don't know if the screen is frozen or not. West Lotus, you're blowing up, BA. I'm seeing your video everywhere. Don't let the haters stop you. Use the hate to make. Thank you very much, Wes. Southeast Asia definitely knows the difference between Black Americans and Africans, different stereotypes, style, and presence. Thank you. Knock Mezzi, thank you very much. I think they know too, but they pretend that they don't know. I asked many Asians in my 10 plus years living in Southeast Asia where they think I come from. Do you know what they said? Africa. And that's a bad perspective, of people thinking just because there are Africans here that everybody's from Africa. I'm not saying I don't have family that's not a part of the African culture, or I'm not a part of that nation. It's just that don't perceive that everybody is like that. Let me see here, reset. Ben, Philippines. Okay, that's you. You don't present everyone. Yeah, okay. No, exactly. I don't think I should be judged as being Africans. Oh, thank you very much, Kappa. I don't think just because I look one way, I should be perceived that way. Some people look at my dreads and go, "Oh, wow, you smoke weed? Oh, you smoke weed?" And I'm like, no, no, I've never smoked, a day in my life. I don't smoke. I actually listen to rock music. Unfortunately, when hip hop died, I needed something else to, tune into. And basically, I said, okay, you know what? I found rock music. It appeared to be something that, was very therapeutic and interesting to hear. And I said, you know what? Rock music it is. Okay. Father Douglas, nice to see you again. Good morning, Father Douglas. Yes, yes, tech AI. We're not really that important to them. All we are is just a financial benefit, which I've come to, that conclusion as well. Um, we're just a resource. And as I said, I live downstairs from a 7-Eleven. And when I walk, I pass 4 7-Elevens and I walk past them and I say hi and buy things and ask people in Thai, hey, how are you doing? It's nice to meet you, and they basically, lightly smile, but they're not really interested in, getting to know more about me. It's just, thank you for your money. Have a nice day. Yeah, I've been 10 years. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm to them, I'm just African. Even though I whip out, my driver's license from New York, even though I whip out, things and say, no, I'm from New York, I'm American. Doesn't matter to them. They go, oh, okay, but maybe they change their mind anyway and say, oh, he's African. It's frozen. Whoever said that needs to take comments down. Oh, it's frozen. Okay, it's not frozen. Okay. Great conversation. You're not frozen on my side. Okay, Ben. I don't know. Uh I thought I was frozen, I'm still listen, I'm still learning about YouTube. I don't know what's frozen. You all have to help me and tell me, hey, this is frozen. Then I can make an effort to try to do something, and I will. Um, make a better effort to make sure that I'm not frozen, or if you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, or if there's an echo, just please tell me. Thanks, Philly. Thank you very much. Well, please, everyone, if you like, my conversation, please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Um, can't wait to see the content in China. Well, I cannot wait, Father Douglas, to show people the content in China. I feel it's going to be awesome for, my YouTube subscribers to see me walking around in China, interacting with people. I hope I don't get in no trouble for showing China, and I'm not there to show China in a bad light. I'm just there to show people everything about China that I'm encountering and I'm experiencing. Not all Southeast Asians can tell the difference. In fact, most can't. Y'all really expect these people to have common sense? Okay, Thomas, I want to say this. They can't make they can't distinguish. So why not ask? Some people here act like they're hot shit when they're really cold doo doo. Yo, ask. I'm not gonna sit there and say just because I see a Thai person, I'm going to assume they're Thai. I'm going to ask, hey, what's your nationality? They could be Filipino. They could be from Cambodia. They could be, from Myanmar. It's better to ask. And I agree, that some people here just don't have common sense. But obviously, they don't want to have common sense, and they definitely don't want to have a better perspective. And this is just one of the things that I point out here in living here in Southeast Asia. That is a con. Many people don't care to know. They don't want to know. They don't want to do better. And I find it out here in Thailand, I find the Flintstone effect. And what I mean by the Flintstone effect, if anyone knows who the Flintstones are, basically, let's say I'm Han Solo and something happens to the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon. Fred Flintstone says, well, I'll take a look at it. I look at Fred Flintstone. I'm like, you can't fix the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon. You're from Bedrock. You stop your car with your feet. So if I'm going to give you, let's say another example, you tabulate things with a pen and piece of paper, and I say, hey, here's a calculator. You can tabulate things a lot better and faster with this, and you say, no, I'm happy doing it with this pen and paper, and you refuse to accept this device that helps you do things smarter, not harder. But you continue to give me the perception, I know what I'm doing, a pen and paper is great, and I'm saying, well, you can do it faster with this calculator. Should I perceive you're smarter than me? No, I'm going to perceive, okay, you want to do things the hard way. It's weird if you assume that if they're Chinese, it seems highly offensive, correct, and ignorant. But them calling us blacks in the US and Europe and other is yes, exactly. We can hear you. Thanks, Philly Dom. It's clear. Keep talking. You're coming in loud and clear, BA. Thanks, Tech AI. You almost have 100 subscribers. Okay. Father Douglas. Everybody subscribe now. Yes, people subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and like. I truly would appreciate it. Yes, a lot of Asian people, and I'm not saying that they're not smart, just I think a lot of Asians give off this pretentious attitude that they're better. And I know how smart I am. I mean, in my family, I'm number 5. So that means there's people who are smarter than me. There are 4 people smarter than me in my family. And I don't pretend to be that smart. Um, I don't I don't think I'm arrogant to the point where I can't learn something new. So if someone gives me some positive criticism and I realize that, you know what, you're right, I accept it and say, you're right. And I tell people, you know what? I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to try to improve. I don't have this arrogance of walking around thinking that I can't accept criticism. I can't accept somebody pointing out my flaws and that I'm perfect. I know I'm not perfect, so I'm happy to sit there and hear criticism and accept that criticism so that I can do better. Because I believe if you knew better, you do better. Yes, a lot of Caribbean people do cosplay as Black Americans in Thailand, and that's a shame that they cosplay like they're us because they're not us. Not saying that there's a problem with them wanting to be us, but please don't cosplay as people from New York if you're not from New York. Please don't cosplay as people from Jersey when you're not from Brick City. Um, be who you are, be who and be proud to be who you are. Jermaine Dupri, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, he's happy from being from the South, and I don't fault him. I don't look down upon him just because he's from the South. I don't fault people just because they're from they're not from basically New York or from the East Coast, or they're from the West Coast. There's nothing wrong with being different. Well, I think it's offensive to sit there and look at a Thai person and say, "Hey, are you Chinese?" Instead of asking them, "Hey, what's your nationality?" I think that's I want to say politically correct to do, and ask a question than to assume that everybody in Asia is Chinese just because they look Asian or they have an Asian appearance. I think that's offensive to sit there and call a dark-skinned Thai Filipino just because they may have similar physical features. I think that's offensive. I'd rather ask the question, "Hey, what nationality are you?" So you're right about how the perception is being black here in Asia makes you the low man on the totem pole compared to other nationalities. Yet if I was all tatted up, if I was maybe, let's say, Dennis Rodman, you know or let's say Sean Paul coming to China or Thailand, everyone's going to be taking their photographs of me. Everyone's going to be looking at me saying, "Oh, I love your style. Oh, I love I love how you dress, the way you talk." They love all of the negative things and some of the positive things about black people, but they're not interested in being one of us in the situation where it can not be to their benefit. Huh, Charles, that's a very good point you bring up. I'm not assimilating. I'm just trying to acclimate myself to things so that things that I see that are different, I'm aware of the reasons why they're different. I'm aware of the reasons why I'm seeing these things so that I don't go, "What the F, WTF?" And it's like, okay, I know why they're doing that. I'm not going to go along to get along. Wherever I go, I'm going to sit and I'm just going to observe things and say, "Okay, that's why they're doing that. I'm not going to go and do the same thing just because they do that." For example, in certain cultures, they don't have a problem, eating with their hand. I eat French fries with my hand, but it doesn't mean I eat everything with my hand. So yes, Charles, I don't just assimilate and do everything that everyone else is doing, because everything that everyone else may be doing. For example, there are white guys out here who are having sex with lady boys. Just because they're having sex or going out with a lady boy doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I think Latin Americans would have been better for you in general because you are too woke to live in Asia. Sorry to say, no, no, no. I agree with you, Tech AI, but I've lived in the Dominican Republic, and I'm going to basically talk about that one day. I lived in the Dominican Republic, and most people don't know. Puedo hablar español muy bien e falo a língua português e falo a língua italiano e capisco italiano. So yes, I speak more than one language, and because I speak more than one language, many people don't realize I understand the things that they say. As when I lived in the Dominican Republic, I would hear things like I would give, let's say, maybe a 50 peso tip because the service wasn't as great. And I'd hear words like, tacaño pila de mielda. And I'm like, really? So you think I'm a cheap piece of shit? Really? Wow. um, I would hear from women when I spoke to them in English and I would show that I was interested in just getting to know them. I would hear them say, este choco loco quiere salir conmigo. Ha ha ha. I'm like, wow, really? So, choco loco is another way of saying ninja in English. No, I don't let things bother me. There was a phase where it's like you don't understand. So you're scratching your head because you're trying to get a better understanding. So not letting things bother me because it's different didn't bother me. What bothered me the most was being frustrated of trying to find things that I was looking for. Trying, as I said, I have a hobby. I was really, desperate to make these. I actually wanted to, sell these to, people, but I couldn't even find people here in Thailand that would actually be like a spokesman for me. I actually offered, certain people money to just maybe do like a little 5-second video of them clamping this little Pokemon ball makeup case onto their bag, taking it off, opening it up, using it, and saying, okay, and closing it back and saying, hey, Pokemon ball. And I couldn't even get people here to do that for me, and I offered them money. So if you're offering people compensation for doing stuff and you can't even get them to, accept money and everything is like, oh, my die, or and you're like, well, I'm offering you money and they're procrastinating, what do you do? Don't act like the best era to don't act like the best. Hold on, yeah. Don't act like the best to travel as a black man wasn't when Obama, and he's half African. Yeah, we have to do better marketing. Yes. I wish we would make a better, I guess, effort to do better marketing, but I am doing that here in Thailand. I've only gotten to one fight here in Thailand. I don't raise my voice. I don't curse at people. I try not to raise my middle finger up at people who have disrespected me. I find that to be rude, but I make a strong effort not to give the middle finger to a lot of people. I don't curse people out here because I feel like it's a waste of time. I just walk away from the situation. If I don't like it, I just leave. I just pick up. Sometimes I used to think that was rude, but I'm finding it now much better to just walk away because I'm not wasting the energy having to think about what I want to say and basically say something negative. So you are unique and more and move differently, but this conversation about Black Americans is a collective. Thank you very much, Thomas. And thank you very much for, yes, I am unique. Yes, I do think differently. So there's not a lot of mavericks, walking around. There's trailblazers, but there's not a lot of mavericks. And I know I'm a unicorn. I know I'm different in a lot of ways. And some people may mistake, my characteristics in a completely negative way. I've been called, is this guy gay, or he seems like a fruitcake, and I'm like, oh, really? Well, if you think I'm, gay or a fruitcake, if you have a pretty wife or girlfriend and you leave me with her, she will definitely tell you that is not the case. I just have certain mannerisms that aren't like everybody. I don't run around when I meet people in my circle. Yo, what's up, Ninja? How you doing, Ninja? Yeah, I'm doing good, Ninja. Not saying I haven't said it, but it's not a part of my everyday vocabulary. It's like something that I may say maybe with one or two of my cousins, my family members. But as for friends, very, 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 very rarely will you hear me say that word. That's my point. We're not a collective. Okay. Doesn't matter how much we market ourselves. You know, we're a lot more good black men and women. That's bad. I don't know why it's hard to admit that as a culture simply doesn't like us. Charles, again, I don't, I don't know, you know, I'm just going by my experience. I do know that there are people who like us for certain reasons, and then there are people who dislike us for other reasons, Charles. I say in whole, as a culture in America, Chinese people definitely didn't show that they liked Black Americans because growing up, when I'd walk into one of their stores, they'd sit there and say, hurry up and buy, or walk around and follow us around the store. So I definitely feel like, you know what, I wasn't liked by Chinese people, but as I've gotten older, I've encountered a lot of Chinese Americans who have told me that, you know what, uh, they've apologized for people in their culture that showed me this type of disdain, contempt towards Black people who were patronizing their businesses. Having American passport now, I think it has its benefits, but not like it did before, Thomas. Maybe before it had its benefits, but not like it used to before. And I think just from my experience, I can't, again, collectively, I can't say this. I'm just going off of my experience. People look at my passport and they look at me and they may say, oh, especially here, okay, we know you're not African. Go on. That's what I've encountered from maybe encountering, you know, having encounters with the police. For example, I've been in a taxi cab. Yes, inside of a taxi cab. Cops have pulled a taxi cab over. Blew my mind. And they actually had the audacity. A local police officer asked me for my ID. And I'm saying, you're not immigration. Why do I have to show you ID? And they actually got violent very quickly. Hey, where's your ID at? And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who are you? Immigration? You know, why do I have to show you my ID? You know, and they got really nasty. They started calling over their people. So I whipped out my driver's license. You know, it says New York. And they looked at it and they gave it back to me and they told the taxi cab, okay, go on. But I didn't, I never knew that basically, okay, having a passport and showing it to people, you know, helped identify me as being, you know, an American. And now that I've identified myself, it's like, okay, you're good to go. Go ahead. In a taxi cab. And that's what's happened to me a few times here in Thailand. Charles, I don't know what the passport bro movement was created for. I think maybe it was created just to show that more Black American men should get their passports and travel. I don't know. I wasn't a part of that movement. I've been traveling since I was 18 years old. And, you know, I'm not 18 anymore. So I don't know about that movement. I've traveled to over like maybe 28 or 29 countries. So whatever movement has transpired since the passport movement has taken place, I don't consider myself a passport bro. I'm just a brother from another mother with a passport. If you like my content, you like, you know, this type of conversation, please subscribe to the channel so that when I do go live, you can receive notifications that I'm going live and get up to date. You'll be updated on videos that I post. Uh, yeah, I think just I think you're just in love with complaining and find faults with anything around you. Tech AI, you think I'm complaining, and I want to show you something because somebody else said something very, very similar, and people don't realize that it's not me who's complaining. And I hope you all can hear this. So let me find this link because a TikToker who's half American and half Thai has a very different perspective on this perspective, what you're talking about. Let me see here. Is this it? So Tech AI says he thinks I just love complaining and finding faults with anything around you. Okay, okay, just a second. Now this is a Thai man. He's half Thai. He's half American. And this is a different perspective which I need to share with everyone here. I hope you all can hear this. It's Thai. What that's a good word. Probably I'm gonna start this over. I'm gonna start this over. Funny. What types of people like first type of tourist? He's probably been in Thailand 40, 50 times. He loves Thailand. Thinks that he gets it. And the second time is a long term he was pretty similar to the tourist. Probably has lived in Thailand for around 40 to 50 years. He's married locally, knows how Thailand really works. And whenever I bring up negative things about Thailand, even if it's constructive, such as corruption, infrastructure, politics, poorly designed Bangkok sidewalk, they don't debate data. They stand by faith. And oftentimes they say, if you don't like it, go back to our country. And I'm like, my country? Bro, this is my country. And here's what's interesting. Whenever I speak Thai fluently, whenever they find out that I grew up in Bangkok, that I'm Thai, they go quiet, which tells me something. It wasn't really about the argument. It was whether I was qualified to have an opinion about Thailand. Not debate, that's identity gatekeeping. I've seen this happen to my friend. He brings in data, constructive criticism. It doesn't matter because he's white. You know what's funny? Most expats in Thailand are against him, whereas Thai people agree with him. I'm not one of those who says like identity doesn't matter. Of course it does. Identity shouldn't be the only thing that matters. It shouldn't be used to shut down conversations. Now the third type, Thai crowd. It's not just foreigners. Sometimes vendors assume that I'm a tourist as well. When I was walking around Sukhumvit area and I wanted some fruit, I literally heard the vendor say, "Pardon me, sir." I did not. So I got charged an extra 30 bucks. It actually made me feel uncomfortable. No? People put me into a different type. What factor does biggest? Hope you've heard that. I hope you will listen carefully. If not, the next time I do a live, I will basically do a live stream and I will encompass this conversation that my friend is having. He's Thai, he's half Thai, half American. He doesn't look Thai. And when he complains, if you've all been listening, foreigners say that if you don't like it, leave. Isn't that ironic? Foreigners tell him, who he's Thai, if you don't like it, leave. Hmm. I mentioned earlier to you some of the positive things about Thailand are it's safe. No one here basically is going to rob you. No one's going to put a gun up to you. No one's going to, put a knife up to you and try to rob you. Um, I would say that's a very positive thing out here about Thailand. If you do find the right circle of people, if you can, I want to say expats, your life here may be a lot better if you can meet them and they can introduce you to Thai people who are open-minded to helping you. Um, there's a few other things, but if you want me to say a lot of other things, I have to see some other positive things about Thailand and say okay, because I'm always comparing, and which maybe that's a bad thing to do. I'm comparing other countries. I'm comparing my country to things that I see here, and I'll go and I'll say, you know what, that could be better. This could be better. I'm not telling a culture to change. I'm just telling myself this could be better. This could be better. And when people ask me, so what do you think of the country? I tell people, okay, I don't like this. I don't like that. I like this. I don't like that. As I said earlier, this is a carabiner. When I was making this Pokemon makeup case, it took me exactly 3 weeks to find this little device. People would sit there, Thai people would sit there and say, well, you can look there, or you can look here. Nobody would show me, well, tell me exactly where I could find this little, carabiner. I spent 3 weeks and 4 days, 3 weeks on my own, and then basically just 3 or 4 days with a Thai person. We found it like that. So you're saying I shouldn't mention anything, negative, but I have been encountering so much negativity here that what am I supposed to say? I'm trying to make friends here, and I've discovered that most Thai people are not interested in making friends. There's literally white Americans, Europeans, Arabs that make video cons all the time, but some weird reason never call them complaining. Yeah, I see that, Charles. No one ever calls them complaining, but they call a black person who's indicating things. Oh, you're complaining. You're negative. You're a buzzkill. No, no, we're not complaining. We're just indicating. Really, my channel is called Time to Address the Hate. Most of the times when I'm on Philly Dom's channel, I'm pointing things out on his channel that I don't point out on my channel. What I do on my channel is I address the haters that have left negative comments on his channel. So anybody who has anything negative to say after I've done interviews or lives on his channel, I address those haters on my channel. Now, do you understand this concept? Tech AI. I am leaving. I think I told you I'm leaving Thailand. We're leaving in a few days. So it's not like I'm sitting there saying, no, I'm going to stay. No, we're not doing that. If there are a certain amount of things that I find are unacceptable, you may be willing to accept a lot more than me. If I find certain things unacceptable to a degree where I realize I'm now staying inside more than I am going outside. I've ceased to try to communicate with people and I'm staying more to myself. It's best that I just leave and find another country where I find the pros slightly equal to the cons or not as irritating or as frustrating as the pros. If the cons are not as frustrated, I can say, okay, 70-30 or 60-40. Okay, nothing's perfect. I can accept 60-40 and still live in a place. I don't know if I'm going to leave China because of things that I don't like. I realized one of the things I did wrong here was try to learn the language and didn't make friends here. Maybe I will go to China and I will learn some of the language, but I won't try to make friends. I won't try to make conversations with local people as I try to do here. And maybe that will save me some frustration here. I will just simply just stay more to myself or make friends with other expats there and simply just build my camaraderie with other foreigners compared to trying to build a camaraderie or friendship with other locals, which that's just something we have to explore. Instead of what we did here, we tried to make friends here. We tried to build camaraderies. We tried to introduce new things to people here, people, not a culture. And we saw that it didn't work. I'll give you a perfect example. I've met women here who would complain about their situation and they would say, "Oh, I'm single." And they saying, "Oh, I'm single, I don't have a boyfriend," but they want change in their life. They want someone to help them. What they want is a finished product. They want someone to give them something and they don't want to give anything back. I've met women here who didn't have a job, and I said, "Well, okay, what I will do in exchange for whatever I want, which was most likely just you being in a relationship that was you would be diligent, consistent, and reliable. I will pay for you to get a skill. Let's say maybe work in security. You have to get training. I've offered that to two women. I'll pay for them to get training in security. In exchange, you would have to be in a relationship with me, live here with me, do things for me, help me, but I'm willing to help you get a skill. I'm willing to help you learn to speak English so that you can do better, and be better." They just wanted me to just give them money, help them financially, but they weren't willing to give me back anything. They weren't willing to sacrifice anything. Most people will probably say, "Oh, well, you were asking for too much." Why is it asking too much in exchange for my financial assistance for me to get someone to show me that they're diligent, consistent, and reliable? You want my financial assistance, but you don't want to offer me these three things so I can trust you. That's not going to happen. Not for me, maybe from other people, but it won't happen for me. Okay, tech AI, I'm not going to argue with that statement. Run out of countries to run from. Yeah, it's possibly. Or then again, I may like a country, I may be accepted by the people in this country, which one of my friends have been telling me, "Yo, leave Asia, come to Brazil. Leave Asia, come to Brazil." Or I would just, ask by one individual, come to Vietnam. We'll introduce you to some people, which is only thing that I've been looking, for is someone to say, "Hey, you're not from here. Let me show you around. Let me show you the pros of living in this country. Let me introduce you to some decent people compared to me going on my own, meeting people and discovering this wasn't the best experience, and then having too many bad experiences and then going, oh man, this place is the worst." See, that's one of the problems that we've been having is we haven't been introduced to the right people. We've been waiting here to be introduced to the right people, and we've been making efforts to try to meet good people, which we thought were good people, and we discovered that, these weren't the right people. Just asking. So us, Richie Mack, selling dreams. Richie Mack is selling you a scripted reality, just like other people are selling you a scripted reality. You hear me? Certain things are true, certain things are not true. There are some YouTubers will show you I can walk up to a Thai woman and start a conversation with her like that, and she'll just go and have coffee with me and lunch, and we can just start talking. That's not true. I've walked up to Thai women and just tried to have a conversation, and they were terrified. And I first started when I walked up to them. I started talking to them in Thai. So for me to walk up to a stranger and start asking them questions in Thai, there was a little comfortability, but it wasn't like comfortable like, oh, okay, you're cool. It's just okay, it's over there, do this, okay, goodbye. Thailand has 65 million people and you couldn't find one friend. Oh, okay, Tech AI, I think you didn't hear what I said. I have made, I want to say at least four people that I consider to be friends, uh, which maybe you just didn't hear me. The person who helped me make my Pokemon ball, uh, I can walk up to his shop on any given Sunday and we talk. I mean, he doesn't take me out to a bar, restaurant, but I can have a conversation with him. It's not perfectly in Thai like I would want to, but he can understand some English. But he did help me with this. I'm forever grateful. I walk past his store all the time. I speak with him. Um, I want to call my friend at Federal Express a friend because anytime I call, he's more than helpful to make me find, more than willing and helpful to help me find a package that's floating around in Thailand. But if I offer to give him a gift for, his professionalism and all of his help, he'll reject it. If I offer to take him and his colleagues out for drinks, he'll reject it. So what am I supposed to do? My landlord, the best thing I can do, which she's such a sweet person, is make sure I either pay my rent on time or pay my rent early. And she's very nice to me due to the fact that I do sometimes pay my rent early. There's a lady downstairs who owns a convenience store. If sometimes I'm not in the building and basically a package is coming, I'll leave the money with her. She will pick the package up for me. It's delivered here and she'll hold it for me. So outside of, my landlord, the lady downstairs, gentleman that's a locksmith and the guy who works at FedEx. These people work, in either a professional capacity or I pay them my rent or, they have a business downstairs. No, I have not been able to make decent friends or let's say a sincere friendship with Thai people here. No, I haven't. And I'm not the type of person who wants to lead with my wallet and feel I have to buy friendship as maybe a lot of people here in Thailand have done with Thai people. They've led with their wallet. They purchased friendships, and this is why maybe they may have I want to say maybe on the surface friendship with certain people here who are Thai. I really see the issue, the way you interpret, way to being said, you are being twisted in your mind. You take what is being said and what you think is not what is being said. You have, well, tech AI, that's your perspective. You're entitled to your perspective. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to basically, express what I'm experiencing. You have a comprehension issue. You literally don't understand what is being said to you. You don't you've done it a few times today, and that and what I've said. Hold on. You say you've done it a few times today with that I've said. Okay, again, you're entitled to your issue. I'm not. I'm with your opinion. I'm not here to sit there and bash you and say anything negative to you. I'm just going to address what you're saying, and that's it. Philly Dom knows. Uh, Philly Dom, how did you deal with BA? Well, Tech AI, which apparently you obviously appear to know Philly Dom. Because you're insufferable. Okay, BA, the way you talk and think is too much for anyone to deal with. You never seen a man like you. Hey, they never seen a man like Mozart or Albert Einstein. Yet and still, people thought they were weird. Tech AI, they didn't feel like basically, these people were just like everyone else going along to get along. Nevertheless, these are some of the, most profound geniuses in the world. There's a lot of, Black people in America who've created things like the light and electricity. Yet and still, these people were unique. Nevertheless, you don't hear about them, in the mainstream. So overall, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just indicating what I'm speaking. I'm done because Brendan is not there. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much for your comments. You guys take care. Take care, Tech AI. You have a good day. That's an amazing Pokeball. Oh, thank you very much, Saigon. I made it myself. How much 5K Thailand can last for you? How much can you do? 5K, like is that US? How much 5K in Thailand can last you? 5K in Thailand can last you for, a decent amount of time. If you're living modestly, you're not drinking, you're just using your money to pay your rent, pay your electricity bill, your cable bill, and traveling. 5K goes a long way. I don't spend over 3K. Actually, I probably spend less than 3K because I'm not out here chasing women. I'm not out here, buying a round of drinks for everyone at the bar. Mervin, thank you very much for the compliment. Please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate your comments. Yes, Saigon T, I made this Pokeball. I turned it into a makeup case. I actually tried to market and give these away to certain people so that they could just make a video of it and they would make a video. So of course, I'm not going to give away something that I worked hard to create. If they're unwilling to just make a video, show that they're wearing it like a Labubu, and just basically show a video that it's a product that they're interested in using to other people. You know? I think everyone is awesome. Everyone has good qualities, and everyone may have flaws that they're either aware of or they're not aware of. People indicate them, and you can take that criticism, swallow it with a grain of sugar, and make an effort to do better. I'm not bashing Tech AI. He has his perspective. I respect his perspective, and I'm going to wish him, a good day with his perspective. And he, does the same for me. He can sit there and say I'm negative, but I just showed a video from this guy on TikTok, and he's Thai American, yet and still he talks about basically the issues with him living here in Thailand. Yet Tech AI says I'm negative, but yet and still he talks about how he's Thai, how he basically talks to foreigners about, Thai. And, we're going to play this again. We're going to play this again for everyone. Funny. Four types of people. First type of force. It's never been times he loves Thailand. He said he gets it. And the second time is a long time, which behaves pretty similar to the force. Probably has lived in Thailand for 40 to 50 years, is married, knows how Thailand really works. And whenever I bring up negative things about Thailand, even if it's constructive, such as corruption, infrastructure, politics, well, you find Bangkok Thai block, they don't debate data, they stand my face. And oftentimes they say, if you don't like it, go back to our country. And I'm like, my country? Bro, this is my country. And here's what's interesting. Whenever I speak Thai fluently, whenever they find out that I grew up in Bangkok, that I'm Thai, they go quiet, which tells me something. It wasn't really about the argument. It was whether I was qualified to have an opinion about Thailand. It's not debate, it's identity gatekeeping. I've seen this happen to my friend. He brings in data, constructive criticism about Thailand. It doesn't matter because he's white. And you know what's funny? Most expats in Thailand are against him, whereas Thai people agree with him. Most expats in Thailand agree with him, but the Thais agree with him, but the expats disagree with him. Isn't that ironic? Um, no, well, again, we're just here to address, the haters. If there are haters, we're just here to address it. They ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. Um, he's a hater. Block him, BA. If I block Tech AI, then basically that means I'm afraid to, I'm afraid of him expressing himself, and we're not afraid of confrontational people. Actually, we thrive on people who are confrontational. So no, I don't want to block, Tech AI now unless he does something disrespectful, you know. Now I would block him, but other than that, Tech AI, he has the freedom to say what he wants to say. Even though right now I'm not in America, I still believe on the principles of freedom of speech. Let him basically say what he feels, and as I said, I've expressed basically some of his concerns. That here it is. A person who doesn't look Thai, but who is Thai, who complains about Thailand. When he complains about it, expats complain and say, if you don't like it, leave. But he's Thai. This is his country. Why is he leave? Why is it that basically, if he's perceived to be an American, he should leave? But when someone else, they complain about Thailand, they should leave. Oh, what time is it? 11:22 a.m. Just a moment. You're a better guy than me. I'm different, West Lotus. I'm different. I try to be better. As it's been told to me by people before me, if you knew better, you do better. And this is one of my characteristics is I'm not afraid of opposition. I'm not afraid of confrontation, because when you have things in your life that uh, are you're confronted with, whether it be problems, issues, difficulties, only the strong survive. Only great people will rise above it. So I'm rising above it. It's okay. You know, he can hate, he can, sit and say his opinion. It may be negative, but I'm here to address the hatred or the haters. Wait for a moment. Let me go get something to drink. I'll be right back. Water. Some milk. So for everyone who says I all I do is complain about things here in Thailand, he's Thai. He's Thai American. He complains about things here in Thailand. He has a channel on TikTok, and I guess basically because he's Thai American. Okay, I've emailed him. He's gotten the Vietnam invite also. Okay, Saigon T. Um, I love having these debates. Well, I won't say debate, these conversations, because, as because he's Thai American, he has a perspective. And most people who are, half this and half that, they basically have the best of both worlds. They can hear things, see things faster than I can. And so they have a perspective that most people, don't know about. Maybe some people may say, oh, he's a hater too. How can he be a hater? He's Thai. But all he's doing is giving people a different perspective that they're unaware of. Everyone keeps thinking, oh, it's so great here. Oh, the food is great here. Oh, everything's great here. Come here and try to start a business. Come here and try to start a business or buy some property here. You will find out just how complicated it is to open a business, purchase some property, or be productive. Now, if you just come here, you want to just go to the store, buy things, take your stuff and smile, eat your food, go back home, watch Netflix all day long, go out, go to a bar, shoot some pool, pick up some chicks. You will have a great life here. But the moment you consider saying, okay, I want to make some friends here, sincere friends, friends who are educated, friends here who are motivated to do better and also want to help you, that's when you will run into the roadblocks again. Um, this is a friend. I consider him a friend. Anytime I call him at FedEx and say, hey, my package is floating around someplace. Give me the tracking number, he asks. He'll find it, make sure it's brought to my apartment ASAP. I've offered him gifts. Hey, man, thank you very much. He'll say, Kun Byron, I can't accept it. Thank you very much. Just you saying thank you is good enough. I've offered to, hey, can I take you and your colleagues out for drinks? He goes and says, hey, I appreciate the offer, but I can't accept it. I would love to basically be able to meet his colleagues and his coworkers. Unfortunately, because of policy, he's not willing to go outside of that. Hey, Charles, I saw it. I saw your message. I saw it, and I appreciate it. Yes, a lot of people are hypocritical. As I said, a friend of mine, I speak to him occasionally. I send a message back and forth. He's Thai. When he complains, he's said, "Oh, you don't like it? Leave." Oh well, I'm Thai. I don't need to leave. Now what? They leave him alone because they realize, oh shoot. So if you're Thai and you're complaining about things, obviously some things must be true. He's Thai. He was born here. If he complains, you think he's wrong. Please like or subscribe to my channel if you like this type of conversation. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, most likely you're correct. There's a lot of inequality. There's people who are educated and people who aren't educated. And for those who are educated, which there are a lot of educated people here who have gone to international schools, and or they were born here. They're half Thai and half something else, and so they have a lot more knowledge than other people. And if you have more knowledge, you have more power. Knowledge is power. And a lot of people who don't have the same knowledge as other people, the same power, that's the root of the negativity. That's the root of basically the ignorance because they don't know, so they don't know how to do better. But Saigon T, I'm definitely going to answer you on Instagram. And if what you're saying is true about teaching English in Vietnam, we can talk. And again, one of the things that I could not discover here in Thailand was people introducing me to, the locals, introducing me to people to make me feel like I was somewhere I belonged or a place that I was accepted. So because I couldn't find that, I simply kept continued to stay to myself. Kept staying in my condo. I continued to interact less and less with people. And then I said to myself, I'm interacting less and less, but I'm at peace. I'm not frustrated. I'm not irritated. And because we're at peace, we're not frustrated. We're not irritated. I'm actually happy, but I think maybe a person can become a recluse as a result of staying in too much. Okay, I come in, my apartment. I wake up. I eat. I may go outside, but I may come back. I may work out here, jog, run. Do push-ups, sit-ups in my place. I may create some content and maybe go outside once a day. Is that healthy? Is that mentally healthy? Probably not. But does it keep my peace? Yes, it does. Yes, I became public enemy number one with a lot of people because I just told the truth. Yes, I'm being probably hunted down like Red October by a lot of passport bros because they don't want to express certain truths. They just want to give a better perspective instead of pointing out some of the negative things, such as basically I didn't say all, most relationships with women here in Thailand are transactional. There's no if, there's no ands, there's no buts about it. It's going to be transactional. I don't want a transactional relationship with a woman. I'm not saying there's not going to be a transaction of give and take. I just don't want everything to be about transaction of monetary value in exchange for their time. Where I said on one, interview I did with a gentleman by the name of BMT, I met a Thai woman. I talked with her for a little while. She told me that she was getting off work. I said, hey, let's meet. I said, hey, why don't you come over to my place? I can cook. Let me introduce you to some American food, which was really Mexican food, but let me introduce you to some of my cooking. She asked me, how much are you going to pay me? I was taken aback because why am I paying you when I'm going to offer to cook you food? I'll pay for her taxi, but I'm offering to cook her food, share my conversation, share my, share with her my camaraderie. And she's offering me how much am I going to pay her? Then she said, when I said, I'm not going to pay you anything, she said, then I'm not coming over. And I'm like, okay, fine. You don't have to come over. I don't need everything to be so transactional. If you're coming over and you're sharing your time and you're sharing your knowledge with me and you're sharing, if you're Thai and you're coming over and you're helping me learn about your culture in exchange for my time, my food, and we can exchange cultural information, now we're learning something. But for me, for you, for Thai people to just make most things about you give me money and I will give you this, I feel like, why am I here? I don't want to be around, people who everything has to be so transactional. Um, because that's not what it's all about in life. When I met, my mentor, one and only Philly Dom, um, I said, hey, you're new here to Thailand. Let me show you around. Let me show you things. I didn't ask him, hey, give me money and, I'll show you around. I never asked him, hey, give me this, give me that. I just showed him around. There were certain times, I paid for our Metro cards and he paid for this. He may have bought, the water as we're walking. That's an exchange, a positive exchange. He recognized, oh, this guy sat and he paid for the BTS, fare for us. He'd ask me, hey, we're walking into a 7-Eleven. Hey, you want something? You want something? Or, yo, we're in KFC. Hey, can I get you something? He offered. Many people here are not offering. That's the bottom line. And if they do, they're expecting, again, like as I said, if some Thai people offer you something, they're expecting something in return. Most likely something of monetary value. They're not looking just for you to maybe, okay, I appreciate if you offered your friendship back in exchange for my nice deed. I'm more than happy to do that. But where people are saying, okay, I'll do that in exchange for this amount of money. Now everything becomes transactional. And it's like you feel, okay, every time you interact with this person or these people, it's going to basically cost you money instead of just costing you an effort to show this person that your appreciation, and this is the reciprocation, the appreciation for their effort. That's what I like to offer people. My appreciation as a form of reciprocation. Okay, ABIV. Yes, there are some guys here who have a business, and they do have a Thai girlfriend. And let me talk about this for a little while. Most Thai women here who want someone to save them, yes, save them. If any guy here has a business, they're more than happy to get with these business owners, excuse me, and a lot of them who are bar owners, because if they're working for a bar, their presence as a Thai woman is being seen by other people. They're looked at as, well, I'm running the show here. So I know someone who's married to a Thai woman. He has a Jamaican restaurant here in Bangkok, and you never really see him. You see his wife running the show. She's in charge. So, yes, you will find a few Thai women with with expats, some black, some white, because they're being looked at as being important. They're being looked at as being something that they weren't prior to being with this individual. So, yes, you will find certain business owners here with a Thai person, because now that you're considered, oh, a pillar in this society, these women have no problem saying, okay, I don't care what other people say. He has a business. My family will either have to respect my decision that he has a business and this business can financially assist them financially. So, yes, you will find a lot of Thai women here with men who have businesses, whether they're white men or black men. I hope I've addressed it. I hope I have addressed your comment. Anything else you want to ask? Yes, they